Welcome to Life by Design, episode 321. Welcome to Life by Design. I'm your host, Dr. Kresimir Jug. This week, I am not joined by my brother from another mother, Dr. Jamie Richards, who's just taking it easy and chilling. But together, we are the creators of Life by Design with many locations worldwide. Each week, we discuss the principles and the practice of Life by Design. And on this week, I am talking about exercise, sleep, screens, and kids under 5. I've found an interesting article from CNN that if you want to read, go to lifebydesign.com/podcast. The article is there. And it is the new United Nations Public Health Agency guidelines on exercise, sleep, and screens for kids under 5 years old. Now, what's interesting is that before this, so this was published, I think these recommendations, according to the CNN article, came out on April the 19th, which is only a couple of days ago. And this is the first time that guidelines for children under 5s ever existed. Before, these guidelines began at 5 years old and then went up to 65 and older. And now, and I like their reasoning. You know, there's a Croatian proverb, and I'm sure every culture, I just can't think of what it is now in English, but every culture has a proverb or a saying like this, and that it's the tree is bent when it is young. And of course, they are... The Croatians, bless their beautiful use of words, are trying to say that the sooner you begin something, whether that's good or bad, whatever habit that is, the longer that this is going to stick for. And because obesity and obesity-related illnesses, for example, are a real problem for the world, especially in North America and Western Europe and the Western part of the world. This is, obesity, they're realizing that the sooner we can help create healthy environments for children to grow up with, because, they mentioned in the article, and this shouldn't be rocket science or news to you, but, the sooner that a child is exposed to an environment, or the sooner the child is overweight, the longer the chance, or the greater the chance that they're going to spend longer years, probably most of their life, as obese or overweight. So the whole point of this, and I love this, is to give good recommendations, or at least some recommendations for parents for kids under 5 on important things like sleep and screen time and exercise. So what they're recommending, because I have it here and we can chat about it, and I like the recommendations. I think they're great, and I think I don't think this is overly complicated. I think these are very simple and they make a lot of sense. I think the issue, and what I'm going to spend the majority of the time talking about, is ways that you can begin to apply these things into your life and into your child's life. This falls under the category of very easy to understand. Like most solid lessons in life, it's very intellectually easy to understand. It's much harder to apply these principles to your life because it involves changing your life. It's really easy to read a book and and understand the squatting technique. It's much harder to go through the process of repairing a broken squat and all the things that come with it. Man, I'm having a hard time speaking today. For infants younger than 1, the World Health Organization recommends activity several times a day. Floor-based play, tummy time, spending the least amount of time possible in a stroller or in a high chair or in a wrap being carried by the parent. The more time moving, the better. That sounds very logical to me. and again, I'll talk about my initial thoughts. With screen time, they recommend nothing, and they recommend that 14 to 17 hours of quality sleep, including all naps. Makes perfect sense to me. For 1 to 2, again, quality sleep, 11 to 14 hours, naps, 180 minutes a day in various types of physical activity, which is excellent. Again, we don't want to be seated. We don't want to be in stationary positions for too long. And they're recommending under an hour to under an hour of screen time. And if you're 3 to 4 years old, they're saying 10 to 13 hours of sleep a day, 180 minutes a day, again, exercising. And for screen time, I'm looking to just find in the article. Again, 60 minutes, around 60 minutes. So again, I think those are very reasonable guidelines. So how do we do it? Well, the first thing is, it's a guideline. There are going to be days where you're traveling with your child, for example, and you're traveling a lot, and they're going to be restrained in a car seat. There are going to be days when they don't feel well, and you're going to be cuddling them, and there's probably going to be more screen time on those days. So just the fact that it's a guideline doesn't mean that it's gospel. It's contextual, meaning these are what we're striving for every single day. But there's going to be days where this doesn't happen. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I see very many parents who feel guilty, that they have a bad day or that things didn't go great. And, I was the best parent on earth in the history of mankind before I had children. Oh my God, I knew what everybody should do. I knew what everybody should say. I was very judgmental. And then you have kids and you're thrown in this environment where, what you want to do clashes with what's best for your kid, and things get complicated. There's things to do. There's people, and I know, because you're a parent and listening to this. So it's just a guideline. Do your best. And the other one too, when it comes to sleeping, a lot of the things that have come up in practice is there's a lot of parents who feel bad or guilty that their child doesn't sleep through the night. As far as I know, and from everything that I've read and I understand, it's normal for a baby not to, especially under 1, it's normal for a baby to be up 3 or 4 hours, like I said, under 1. And definitely if the child is breastfed, they want to wake up more often. So there's nothing wrong with your child if they don't sleep, a solid 7, 8, 9 hours. I mean, yes, that's possible, but your kid's not broken if that doesn't happen. So number 1 in making these things happen is understanding and giving yourself a little bit of grace and some room to breathe. Not every day is going to be perfect, and there's going to be days that are better than others. And number 2 is to be a role model. And now this is where things get a little bit harder in the sense that and integrity is a big value for me. And in fact, everyone in Life by Design, we value integrity a lot. And integrity in this case is going to mean, are you doing these things that you are trying to get your child to do? How's your screen time? Or are you constantly picking up your phone? It's beside you and you're always checking it. Are you spending a lot of time on social media apps? Are you spending a lot of time playing video games? Are you spending a lot of time watching the TV? How's your sleep? Are you making sure that you're getting your 8 to 10 hours of sleep? Are you turning off technology and going to bed and making sure that you get your rest? Or are you staying up all night and staying up late to watch, maybe things that that don't meet your values? And how's your exercise? Right? 180 minutes a day of movement for a kid. That's awesome. I think it should be as much as possible. Kids need to move. But how much are you moving? Are you getting outside? Are you going for walks? Are you working on your mobility? Right? So most of this is going to come from that. I think that's the most important step. And again, you don't have to be perfect. You have to be on the path to becoming better. The whole success to this, the whole success to the health of your child and to the health of your family is, I believe anyways, creating an environment in which these things are just normal. If your child grows up in a household where moving and doing things together as a family and getting out and riding a bike and going for a walk is normal, then of course, there's a greater tendency for those things to happen. And if the child is going to grow up in a household that's very sedentary, where we watch a lot of TV and we don't get up and move, then of course they're going to view those things as normal, and they're going to have habits like we led with the the wisdom of the Croatians and their proverb. We want to put the child in this environment where they are they're active. So how are we going to do this other than giving yourself some slack and being a role model? I think that those are the most important things. I think a lot of times, and again, the kids get older, you can put them into organized sports is a good idea. Exposing your children to more things, I think, is the best. But like I said, I think the most important thing and the place where to start is to create these habits for yourself. And as a result, I think your children will follow. Thanks for listening, guys and gals. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're able to apply this into your life and join the drive to 1 million families worldwide living life by design.